Hello, everyone. Today, again, we have one of the PMP certified professional with us. We have a Prem with us, and he's here to share some of the insights related to his PMP certification journey. Now, we do want to talk a lot about the PMP certification journey, but before that, let's know Prem so that we understand his background, his motivation for doing PMP, and then we get into the PMP certification preparation space. Prem, introduce yourself, and then we get started.
Yeah, thank you, Saket. This is Prem Kumar Chedella. I have over 21 years of experience in the IT as well as in the academic. And I started my career with HCL Technologies. Then I was with Philips. Then again moved to HCL Sony Offshore Development Center. Then Motorola, it's so-called Google that point of time. Then it became Aris. Then I moved to an international university in Saudi Arabia. Right now, I'm working from past 7 years in the international university as an individual contributor, where I work in the machine learning, deep learning, and artificial intelligence domains. Basically, I develop the prototypes and end-to-end products and algorithm development and etc. So this is my overall background and experience. So and I hold a master in computer science and engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati. So that's I passed out in 2000. So that means that over 21 years of experience what I have.
Good, good, nice. Yeah. So what made you think about doing a PMP certification? What was the motivation behind it?
Okay, the motivation behind was basically I was always in a confused state whether I should be in technical domain or management domain. Okay, so that was there from last 15 years or so also. Some people say you are very good in technical, why you carry on in technical. Some people say you are good at management, why can't you carry on in management? So I always have a dilemma. And I think in 2007 or 8, one of our another team member who takes care of the project manager, he was saying I passed the PMP. So everybody was went him and congratulated him. I was not aware of what is PMP at that point of time. Okay, so that made me to think. Okay, to get, I mean, we do projects, project management, but not in a professional way. You do it, but you don't do it in a professional way. If you do a PMP, then you do it in a structural way and a professional way where you know the basics of how a project manager have to be and how you instruct and how you lead a team and all those things. So that way I was inspired that one, as well as in one of my colleague when I was working in Motorola in 2000, I think 13, he also appeared the PMP and he cleared. And at that point of time, he was discussing with me, sir, if I want to do, I'm going to do this one, and if they may contact you, the PMP guys, maybe you have to say, yeah, this person work with me and all, etc. So we were discussing about that time also, like what are those things. And in 2015, I just registered the training course from Knowledge Woods, I think. Okay, so then I prepared something. I was about to take the exam, register, and at that point of time, due to some reason of my health problems, so I didn't to do that part of it. Then it was prolonging, and last year I thought, okay, because of pandemic and not much work, I want to take this one and complete the PMP basically. So I registered a training, but somehow I don't know what it was not that good, my preparation. And I took the PMP exam in December. 2020, and that was online exam. So I had a couple of technical problems with the online exam, and somehow I lost my concentration on the exam. And first half went well, but second half I think totally disastrous. So and I'm also doing a master's in computer science, AI and machine learning. So balancing that the master's course as well as the PMP, it was a tough job for me to decide which one to get it. So somehow I want to clear the PMP. So that's why I approached you in the month of February. So one of my ex-colleague Motorola, he works at Robert Bosch. I checked with him. He also cleared PMP. I checked with him who is the best trainer or the training institute where I can get it. Then immediately he responded me saying that one Saget Bansal is the person, and he gives a corporate training. Maybe you just check his LinkedIn profile and you just check with him. Then immediately I checked the LinkedIn profile, then I sent a message, then you replied me back saying that one Eisen Beach, you just go look and all those things. Then I decided, okay, and that was Friday batches because I work in Middle East, so Friday was the best suits for me. So somehow it matched my timings and other things. It went well. So I took the training in month of March. That was I mean 6 weeks. So what happened during, I mean, after that, I had a personal challenge. I thought of taking the exam immediately after the training, but somehow I went a personal challenge. So I thought of postpone it. Again, I approached you for the maybe to refresh myself. Then you accepted my request. I'm very much thank you for that one. Then I refreshed myself with another training batch, and that motivated me. Like immediately after the training session, the Kailash cleared the exam. Okay, and that motivated me. I thought, okay, let's do this time. Okay, and moreover, my family went to India on August 16th, and we don't know when they will come back. I decided before they come back, I have to clear the PMP exam. That's that is the one targeted. So luckily, this time there was a physical center was opened in Jeddah. So I took the physical exam. I don't want to take the glitches of technicality this time. So that I took it, and luckily I cleared on 19th of September. So I was overjoyed because I spent from last one year about for this journey. I mean up and downs.
I know.
But one thing what I want to say is, if I cleared in December 2020, I may not have the Agile concepts in my mind basically. So that gave me opportunity to see from a different perspective. Like the exam previously was only a predictive, and now I see a predictive, a hybrid model, and Agile, the complete transition. So I feel maybe by the grace of God or whatever it may be, what I can take it. So I learned a different things, not only a predictive, a hybrid model, and Agile model. That's what I want to say.
Great. Yeah, very, very elaborate.
I gave you a lengthy answer for you.
No. It's a very elaborated story, and I can sense is that you have been off and on hearing about PMP for last around 10-15 years, and then you thought of doing it in last 1 year time, and you had a kind of an experience of looking at the previous exam as well, and then you looked at the new exam, and you, I think, and that created a kind of a unique perspective for you, because earlier it was all about thinking about PMBOK processes, a particular tool and technique, and becoming very alert. Okay, this tool and technique is used where and how it does, and then how do we identify after this process, what do we do next. But now it's a different game. It's not about necessarily about after this process, what do you do next? It's all about people, agile, working with stakeholders, and then also mixing hybrid. And then still there are some 50% questions which may come about a process as well. So that previous thing may remain relevant, but not that much in depth.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. And I feel personally like talking to you and spending 2 batches with you, that you kind of prepared, I think, too much in a way that that much preparation was, in fact, I believe was not needed. And sometimes that also might delay the thing. But yeah, again, it has an advantage that you get more insight about it.
Yeah, that's true. Basically, last time I didn't clear the exam, so somehow I was much worried. Okay, I have to clear this exam. And normally what happens is all my I mean studies and history. So always I want to be excel wherever I want. I don't want to be just a pass kind of thing. I want to meet the above what it is there. So that is the way I want to do that one. And after having discussions with the training mates Pallav and other people, I mean, he gave me suggestions saying that when I mean the compass as well as other material to go through. So I thought, okay, let's I don't want to take a chance.
I know.
So I would extra effort to do that.
I think that the major the advice worked for you was the Kailash one. In the Pallav advice, you may continue studying more and more. But I think Kailash one gave you that, okay, let's go ahead and give the exam also.
Yeah, that made me. So immediately after the Kailash interview, I thought, schedule it. Whatever happens. You schedule it and do it. If that is not success, I have another time. One more time is there for this year. I want to take that one and clear it. So that's what I want to do. Even I advise the new people, maybe once you finish the the training, make sure that you plan very well and clear it as soon as possible. If you delay that one, and it will delay. Basically, that's what I see. So the other advantage of the training with Eisenbridge is all the material that is available in the compass, as well as the mock tests are there. And the mock test, what I observed was the hybrid 1, 2, 3, those are very good. And if you understand very well what is a predictive, what is a adaptive or hybrid, what is agile, so if you are clear about these three, and mock exams of hybrid, and the full length mock of 1, 2, 3, if you do well, you understand the problem and the solution. And if whatever you thought the solution is not correct, and see what is the solution, what is the reason behind your solution, what is the reason behind the actual solution. If you know the differences, and you can clear the exam. That's what I can say.
So what I'm sensing here is that especially for our client base, we have specific small focused test related to agile and hybrid. I think Prem is saying that if you take those 3 tests and ensure that you understand when you marked right, why it was right, and you also understand when you marked wrong, why it was wrong. So you do a good foundation of agile and hybrid approaches, and then you check your generic understanding with a mock full length mock test, which is adding people domain to it. You can do the similar thing with the people focused questions also. We have a people focused mock tests as well. And if these 2 areas are covered, I think you won't face much difficulty in the PMP exam. So that's what we are picking up. Yeah, Prem, you were saying something.
The another one is in the exam. So maybe once or twice you have to go through the question properly. Basically, you should not be hurry. The first one, you should not be hurry. The second one is don't get tensed. Okay, assume that you missed out. Maybe don't think that I missed out. Why I missed out? Maybe leave it that part. If you clear that one, then subsequently you can do well. Okay, so that is one. First is you have to go through the question, once. If it is not clear, again go through the question. Then twice you go through the question means obviously you know what is the question is about, and they will have a particular word like what is the best thing as a project manager do, what is the first thing the project manager do. So you have to be cautious about these words. Okay, so don't think the best in case of first, don't think of the first in the case of best. So clearly see the question properly, then based on that one you answer it. That is what is very much required, Saket.
That's a perfect thing. So read the question well, and many times many options might be close enough, they might be right thing to do, and you need to pick up what the question is asking, what is the best thing to do or what is the first thing to do. And I keep giving advices for the sequence of things. You first acknowledge the problem, then you analyze the problem, and then you act on it. So you don't jump for action when it comes to a sequence space. And when you are looking for a best option, also limit to your assumption on the things which are given in the question. So don't add too much information to it. Again, sometimes the questions are also not complete enough. Only by adding an option they become complete enough. So we need to see which of the options are good information which can be added without any conflict, without any much of assumption. So those kind of things gradually one will learn when you take more and more mock tests and start discussing them. It's just not taking a question and saying, oh, this was right and this was wrong. When it goes wrong, we need to do a little investigation about it, why it went wrong. You may challenge the question also, and there is nothing like right and wrong. There could be some questions might be also faulty. So one has to challenge when they are doing practice. And that will create an understanding of how do you start answering those questions. Great. Yeah. Okay, so let's get a little specific. So what do you think about Agile way of working, and what kind of an advice you want to give to people for Agile part of preparation? I get it. There is a good percentage of it. So if one understand Agile, you have a high probability of passing the exam. That much I am getting it. But anything else you wanna add to Agile advice?
Yeah. So this Agile, maybe I will give a brief history behind this one. So I read one column in one of the newspaper in 2010. That time itself the Agile just started. I read one of the column and I was working with HCL Sony, and that time I was a lead of the team of 10 members. So I want to explore this one. Basically, they say a daily stand-up meeting of 10 minutes. Okay. So, and initially people were resistant to have this meeting of 10 minutes. I don't want to say daily, morning 10 minutes, sometime afternoon or wherever time it matches our every team members and everything. So there I sensed this one, this works a better way, the daily 10 minutes stand-up meeting. So basically, what you have done yesterday, what you are going to today, and what will be the tomorrow. So if there are any impediments or issues, you note it down, you immediately clear it instead of waiting for emails, jig-jog, it will go this guy, this will go that, and all these things. That's what I want. Then later, I was leading a team of 10 members. Later, I was leading a whole group of 40 members. So we have some 4 teams called Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. So I asked the other team leads also to follow this one. Initially, I was there with the other teams for 10-15 minutes. Then I was just a spectator, and I will just go and see how it is doing. And I used to note it down how I can help them, and etc. And then the team leads, we will also have a 10 minutes scrum kind of thing. Okay, so that connected me very much when I was watched over all videos that was there in the Compass, like the product owner and retrospective meetings and all those things. I think if any person goes through your Campus videos of Agile, whatever how many videos are there. I think if they go and understand the concept very well, that is sufficient. I have a book of PMI ACP book that gives some the other not only Agile, the XP and other flavors of Agile also, but I didn't find much questions in the PMP. They talk about only the Agile and Scrum and etc. I think whatever those are there in the campus, that would be sufficient aspirants of the PMP. I don't think it is required more than that. So
Okay.
that answers your question.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So we have around 10 hours of content, which is a pre-recorded content, which is available. And then we discuss them as and when we touch upon the pieces, because when we touch upon in the class, we just look at the piece. Yeah, but I think that whole 10-hour gives the end-to-end picture and depth understanding. So if one spend good time and understand that deep understanding of Agile, then you will not face any problem. And if you don't face any problem in Agile, there is a high probability of passing the exam as well, because you have covered a good milestone of moving forward. Yeah. What advice you would give for our traditional processes, the knowledge areas and understanding of project management, how much depth one should have, in your opinion, for a PMP in today's time? Yeah.
So with respect to the traditional way, the most of the questions people, I mean the PMP I see is the risks. What risk do you foresee? If you have to understand that one properly, whether it is the old traditional way or the hybrid or Agile. So you should have a basic foundation of register, how a register is captured and how it is solved, where it is stored, and the complete flow. That is one. The second one is the requirements handling, like if change request comes. In the case of Agile, how it can be. In the case of hybrid, how it will be. In the case of predictive, how it will be. You should have the differences between these three. I think that is enough. The other one is the requirements handling of the in these three areas. Predictive, how it is different from the hybrid, how it is different from the Agile. So if you know these three, then that's enough. The other one is the earn value management, as well as the cost management. So there are some formulas are there. There is no need to by heart the formulas, but if you have the formulas understood, that's good. And what happens if the cost variance is greater than some threshold? If it is less than those ones, if you have to understand those things in the exam, they will ask the SPI is something. Okay, what action are you going to do? All those things. I think that is a better way. The other one is with respect to the match the following, we have those things. Maybe I got 4 or 5 those questions. So my advice for that is, even if you don't know all definitions and corresponding one, what you know, you have to take which you know and take the corresponding match, and in the answers you evaluate which is closely matching and you go with one. So that makes easy for the aspirants. That's what I want to say.
Perfect. So what I'm hearing is that let's start from the last point. So in many exam as well as in practice tests, you will find there is a definition oriented questions also. There are less, not many, but there are. And they are easy scoring question. You can quickly catch it, provided you know those definitions. And sometimes my advice is that going through the glossary of project management terms, which is available in your PMI's student manual, which is in the beginning only, the new manual which you get as a preparation material from the PMI content with the authorized training provider. Going through those glossaries 2-3 times is a good idea. Yeah. Now, in the real exam, if you face a situation, you see 4 or 5 terms, as Prem is telling, and you may get confused about few. So Prem's advice is that start with the one which you know already. So at least finish them, match them. And then whatever is left, you might be able to see based on the term and the description little faster, because now you have you have reduced the scope of making the judgment. So that's a last part of advice. And in general, see what my sense and what is our project management teaching approach is also, see, life cycles comes, there will be agile, there will be hybrid, there will be predictive, but there are few things which remains kind of common. You need to take care of your stakeholders, you need to take care of your risk related stuff. You need to manage things in an integrated fashion. The change has to be managed in the integrated fashion. And there will be some amount of costing impact irrespective of the life cycle you are using. So these are the things. Don't treat them just only traditional. Yeah, that's the beauty is that you learn them as a project management terminology, and also start relating it how probably these things will get done in agile world. Say working on the requirement, prioritization of a requirement, working with the stakeholders. There could be a few things which will be common, be it agile, be it predictive. There could be a few things which are little distinguished, that there could be a little style difference of doing things in a different life cycle. So understanding that part can make you good in dealing your day-to-day projects as well as doing the PMP exam as well, I guess. Yeah. Okay, final question about people domain. Yeah, I have been talking to one of the participants, I think this week only, and she was telling the people domain should be answered by looking at what the ideal project manager or ideal leader will end up doing in a given situation. And if I think like that, that's a good enough to go with the people domain. What do you think? What is your advice for people to handle people domain related questions?
Yeah, people domain questions normally they ask leadership skills. Basically, you will give some situation, what as a leader you have to do. Okay, and the another one is basically a conflict management. They will give the situation, which conflict will help you to resolve this situation. So you have to understand very well about the leadership, the emotional intelligence, or servant leader, or steward leadership, and all those things. Then as well as the conflict management. What kind of conflict management will help to resolve this problem? So those two things are very, very important. And you should know each and every the differentiation between a different conflict solutions, basically. So if we have a different method, and what is the solution for this one, so you should know the difference between these two. Then it is very easy to distinguish all those one. The another one is as an ideal project manager, what you do. Okay, so that is maybe what I can say is by looking the mock test and other things, you can know what is the best thing you can do it. But a practical way, we never do that way. What a typical project management I says. Okay, so better follow the some of the questions in the campus. Don't distract yourself, okay, as a project manager, how I do for this kind of situation. Okay, so the best way is as we see, the facilitate is the first one, then coach is the second one, then mentorship is the third one. Like that, you find the keywords in the answers, basically. Okay, not like, okay, if the person is not doing good, fire him, or okay. So the answers are there, but as a traditional way, people think that is the first option to come out of the situation, but it's not the right word. Okay, so the first one is you see the first is the in the answer, like the facilitate, the coach, mentor. That is the way a new way of project manager as a leader think. Okay, we have to choose those words. So that's what I want to say, Saket.
Perfect. So it's all about leadership skills, that servant leadership, caring leadership, facilitative leadership. You want to grow people, you want to support them, you really care for their problem, you always listen to them. So that's the whole idea. And then you influence them and taking it forward. So you need to exhibit these behaviors, emotional intelligence. When someone is angry, you are listening to them. So you have all empathetic approach, which helps people to remain focused on what they are doing, feel motivated about what they are doing. So that's the leadership section, and then mock test will help you in strengthening that area, and specifically more zooming into a conflict management space. That is something which is I would say PMI's favorite topic since I know PMP exam, at least from last 15 years. So that is something they have been testing, this conflict management. They have enough amount of question related to conflict management, because those questions are coming from last 15 years and they are not changing much as well. And they are relevant in all the situations. So they have a good database for those questions, which they will keep using it. So that's the another interesting stuff. So you look at the conflict, you identify what is an appropriate response to it, and then those kind of questions you take. And always, as Prem has said in the last section of his reply, focus on what are the desired leadership skills and qualities nowadays looked into, which is more listening, facilitating, coaching, mentoring, training, looking at the diversity, focusing, growing people, helping them to come up with a working agreement, rather than directing, telling do this, punishing them if they are not meeting it, or so punishment is something you should be always avoiding, and listen to the perspective until unless the question is clearly showing that the things has been discussed multiple times and things are not working out. Then probably the removing the person from the team is the right answer. So, but yeah, that there has to be explicit hint in the question which is telling you that yes, all things has been done before, now there is no option left. Until unless that explicit information is not coming, don't jump to that option. And that's what I am picking up from this discussion. Great. Anything else, Prem, you want to add? I'm done with my questions. Anything you want to say at the end?
Yeah, I want to see a few things. Basically, the first one is time management is very important, and use all the breaks basically. Once maybe the entire exam is 230 minutes, 180 questions. So after 60 seconds, you make it in the mock test as well as other times also. Like once you divide the entire exam sections into 3 parts basically. So first 80 questions you make it. Okay, so then you take a break of 10 minutes. Okay, utilize the break, go out and stretch, go to the restroom, have water and other things. Then maybe if you want, you can have a cup of coffee also during that time. And literally I took a bottle of coffee in a flask, and I took it because I want to relieve from the stress basically.
Okay.
So then next 60 questions, make it 80 minutes. So 80 the first 80 minutes, the second 80 minutes, now you have 160 minutes, you pause it. So next 70 minutes you try to finish all those things. So that way you manage properly the time management. The second advice what I give is the review of the questions. I don't think the review of the questions will help us. We say that one, okay, think this question we want to review it, but what happens once you finish all the questions, you may not have the time to review at all basically. You formally take, this is what I want to say, this is the answer. Okay, and maybe you make it very less chance of review if it happens. Okay, but don't make that as a compulsory of review of the tasks, otherwise you may not have the time. The last one was for me was there was a 1 minute left for a last section, and I thought of one or two questions or three questions, because I'm not good at online management, like review all those things. So in the physical exam, they give a board and pen. So I wrote it down, a review question numbers and all those things. But I thought I don't want to do it. If I do this, I don't know whether I may pass or fail, whatever happens, okay, and do it. Maybe once I submitted the final section, within a minute I got the result. So I was so happy. I had my tears on my ears, eyes basically. I don't know whether it is a joy tears or whatever people think. Okay, so initially for 15-20 minutes I was not in a state. Okay, basically I was the pressure whatever I had I relieved. Okay, so then I settled down. Then I sent messages to all the people and who helped me basically. So the team members and other things. Then slowly I came to a world basically. So that is what I can say. Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah,
And your training and other material helped me a lot. Basically, when I did last year, I was looked only the process data, process domain and everything. I have those things in my mind, and the new things of Agile hybrid. Then I refresh it twice with you with your classes, and I didn't had a time to go through the materials. I just did the mock test and what went wrong, what went correct. If it was correct, what is the reason behind this correct? It was wrong. Why it was wrong? How I can correct it? That's the way I did it. I never went. Refer the books or material and all those things.
great. Thank you. And I personally believe in today's world, one should not get into the books. Now there is no, in my mind, I am not aware of a book which is updated as per the new standard of the exam. And if you go to some book, it might take you and delay the whole preparation journey. And you have an exam prep guide which you get from PMI, which has a crisp information, and then we teach you all the things in the form of a video which are good enough, and then the mock test helps you to validate that. Yeah, that's it. You don't necessarily have to look at any book. That's the advice we are giving to our clients as well. I was wondering that it will take some time to evaluate the physical test, but you are saying the result came quickly. Yeah, so
yes, immediately a
okay.
result came. So they as you know, they won't allow mobile, and we have to keep those things in the locker. Even they didn't allow me a ring also. Even ring also they asked me to take it out. A ring and a watch, mobile, nothing. Basically a bare except clothes, everything. Okay, so that is the one. I asked that lady, can I take a picture of this one, because I was overwhelmed with that one. She said it's not allowed to a picture. I just came out. When I just came out, they hand over me I cleared the exam above target. They hand over me in an envelope. Okay, so I was not aware of that one. They would give me the result immediately. So I was overwhelmed with that one. I've been overjoyed also. So I was very happy by taking those envelope with a clear message of about target and all the information.
Good.
So it was immediate. It's not
yeah. Even I learned about it. I have never heard of the physical paper-based exam in India. Sometimes PMI does it for corporate batches, and they have a little long process to evaluate the result. That's I was aware few years back, and after that I lost touch how those things happens. But I don't think we have a center where we can go for a paper-based exam. I think they
it's not a paper-based exam.
Okay. Oh, it was not a paper-based.
It's online only. It's online only. Like they give a sheet, a couple of sheets, the eraser and board marker.
And I got it. So it's a Prometric center based exam, yes. And rather than giving it a home, you went to a Prometric center and then you got the exam. Perfect. Yes. Yeah. That clarifies my doubt as well. Yeah. Good. Thank you, Prem, for taking time out. I understand it's pretty much afternoon time for you. A busy day.
So it's a Friday holiday. So.
Oh yeah, Friday holiday today. Yes. Friday holiday. Yeah. Thank you. It was nice talking to you. Yeah. Thank you for taking time out.
Yeah, thank you, Saket. I'm very happy with your training and the way we got the support and other things. Maybe in future I want to do another couple of certifications. I was thinking to do couple of things, not immediately. Maybe the January, because I have another things in pipeline. I want
I
to finish
know.
before January. So then I will have
Perfect.
it.
Yeah.
It
Nice
was,
talking. Yeah.
yeah, very nice to talk with you.
Thank you, Prem. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.